Hey guys, back again. So let's review Coming to America 2 or Coming to America. And that's really misleading or not misleading, that's really hard to say if you're talking about Coming to America. Like, is it Coming to America 1 or Coming to America 2? But it's got 2 in the actual title. So it's a little misleading. Coming to America, which just was released, I think last week on Amazon Prime. And, and I watched the first Coming to America for the first time recently and reviewed it, and I really dug it. I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the funniest comedies I've seen in a long time, and I just never got the chance to see it. I thought it was genuinely so funny and just so funny. I laughed out loud throughout it. Coming to America, the first one. And then we had the sequel, and like I said, watched the first one for the first time, then I watched this. And I'm glad that I watched both of them at the same time or in pretty quick succession in the same week, because I love the first one so much on first watch that watching this movie, Coming to America 2, I thought this one was really, really bad, which is a real big shame because, like I said, I thought the first one was great, but then going to this one, it's 30 so years later where Prince Akeem and his brother are are back in Africa, and they've got he's got a set of family. Eddie Murphy, Prince Akeem, has got a family. He's got 3 daughters, and the wife from the last movie, and he doesn't have a son. And James Earl Jones in his one scene tells him that he's got a son that is long lost, and he apparently had sex with Leslie Jones, character in the first movie, because they kind of bring that into this movie where she exists but you didn't see her in the first movie, which is interesting, because I like Leslie Jones. I think she's really awesome and hilarious. I laugh at a lot of her stuff. I didn't laugh at her stuff in this movie though, unfortunately. I think she's great in a lot of other stuff, but yeah, the story is that Prince Akeem has a long lost son, this young guy who's typical right now type of guy. He acts like he's of this time, his son. And the thing that bothers me the most about this movie, like the son, is that this movie is going to be extremely dated really quick, because it's just a lot of jokes that are right now current jokes. They're just going to be forgotten easily, while as opposed to the original Coming to America, which doesn't have any jokes that are not dated, really. It doesn't feel like it is dated at all. I think all the jokes in the first Coming to America are universal jokes. They're not ones that you have to know that you were in, whenever you didn't have to be in 1988 to think these jokes are still funny in the original one. And in this one, all these jokes about, for example, whenever Prince Akeem's son and Leslie Jones, his mom, come in to Africa, and they come into this castle mansion thing that they live in, and they're excited. And then Leslie Jones says, "Oh, we're gonna be like the Kardashians," and that's the joke. And it's I didn't think that was funny. And again, Leslie Jones is great in a lot of stuff, and she makes me laugh in a lot of things. But this one, jokes like that just really didn't do anything for me. They just felt like they were saying jokes to say jokes, but they weren't funny. It really had heart behind them. Well, I mean, I'm not saying this movie doesn't fully have heart to it. I like how Eddie Murphy's back. I haven't seen Dolomite Is My Name. I hear that's great. I need to watch that soon. But that's one of his comeback movies, because he hasn't acted in a while, really. I think he did that Tower Heist movie, which I haven't seen. But he hasn't acted much in the past decade, I think, from what it looks like in his filmography. I think he did that 1,000 Words movie, which again I didn't see either. But he hasn't done much. He did all the comedies in the 80s, and then 90s, 2000s, he went to kind of the kid route after doing all these cop movies and just comedy movies. And then he kind of fell off the bandwagon. So it's cool, regardless of what I think about this movie, it's cool to see Eddie Murphy getting work, because like I said, I really do love him as an actor. He's great, and he's so funny in other things. But again, Eddie Murphy and Leslie Jones can make me laugh a lot, and in this movie, they don't make me laugh. Unfortunately, there's not a joke in this movie that literally made me laugh. I just did not think anything was funny in this movie, and I was sitting there so sad. Like, I know some people thought this movie is fine. Like, it's got some mixed reviews. Critic-wise, it's got some mixed reviews. And it's fine. Everybody should have their own opinion. But man, I watched this whole movie and no joke made me laugh. Like, honestly, at all. I don't think there's one. Actually, wait, there might be one joke. So, now that I think about it, there's one joke that I thought didn't make me chuckle. Not laugh out loud, but just chuckle, where they go back to the barbershop again because they gotta bring back those characters because Eddie Murphy and forgot what his brother's name is in real life, the actor, but they both play those characters like with makeup, like the guys at the barbershop. And one of the guys at the barbershop says, I want a girl who's so black that whenever we're in the dark, I need a flashlight. Like that, I thought that was funny. Just that timing of that joke was really funny. With that character that they did with the barbershop characters. I thought that joke was funny. But I didn't laugh out loud. I just was like, that's pretty funny. Because it's just so outrageous. Like those kind of jokes make me laugh. Like outrageous jokes. But this one, like I said, that joke made me chuckle. But it didn't make me laugh out loud. But I thought it was at least the joke that made me feel something. Like there were no jokes in this movie besides that I really liked at all. Or laughed at all. I laughed at almost none of them. I was just annoyed, too, that this movie does the sequelitis thing where it's like, it's about the kids of the people from the last movie, and they're not as interesting in any way. The new kid is not interesting. He's boring. Really just uninteresting. And also, it's just a comedy sequel, and almost every comedy sequel I've ever seen just always falls into that pit of being unfunny. Zoolander 2, I remember. That's a good example. That's one where I watched that and I was like, oh my god, this is terrible. I honestly think I like that less than this one. I think. Yeah, well, no, maybe there might have been, maybe I laughed once or twice in that. But still, it was like this, almost 2 hours worth of nothing. Just like a comedy sequel that most comedy sequels, I'd say 99% of comedy sequels never work. There's a couple that are okay. I remember the Airplane 2, I thought that had some funny moments. It definitely wasn't as good as the first one, but Airplane 1 is one of my favorite comedies. But Airplane 2, I remember having a good amount of jokes, just not as many jokes as the first one. Airplane 2, I remember thinking was funny. But it's not great. Like, it's not great as the first one, like I said. Or Naked Gun 2 and 3. Like, those movies, I think, are entertaining and fun. But they're not as good as the first one, like I said. But those are the only comedies I can think of in my head that are sequels that I genuinely would rewatch again. Naked Gun sequels and Airplane 2. Movies like this, or movies like Zoolander 2, or Bad Santa 2, like they fall into that category of just being utterly just unfunny and forgettable and just pointless. And they always do it where it's like so many years later, like this one, like they've been wanting a Coming to America sequel for like 20 years. And they finally made one, and they brought Eddie Murphy and James Earl Jones and the brother back, and they bring back all these actors, but it's just not executed good at all. It's just so unfunny to me. I mean, I hope that people like this. There's some people that I think I saw already did enjoy this one, and that's good. Good for you. I really didn't enjoy it. I thought it was just so unfunny and so uninteresting. It wasn't anything that I enjoyed at all. Nothing like the first one. It's just such a drastic opposite of the first one. I really do want to watch the first one again because I think it was so hilarious. But this one I don't think I'll ever watch again, unless I do like a review or something that relates to this later in life, but I don't think so. I wouldn't watch it just for fun at all. It's just, I would do it as an obligation. But yeah, not gonna really see this one ever again. So that's my review on Coming to America. I don't recommend it personally, but there are people who enjoyed it, so like I always say, go and see the movie before you judge it yourself. If I say I didn't like it, that doesn't mean you won't like it. So go out and see the movie if you want to, if you're interested. So that's it for today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.